What's up, Star Wars fans? Today I want to talk about why the Empire didn't return to Lothal according to Dave Filoni. That's right, in Season 4, at the end of Star Wars Rebels, we get to see the Ghost Crew and Ezra Bridger take back Lothal from the Empire. And this was no doubt a moment that shocked the Empire, the Emperor, and the galaxy itself. So why then didn't the Emperor send Imperial ships to take revenge on Lothal, or to occupy it once again? We're gonna break this all down, but first, if you love Star Wars and speculation, then hit that subscribe button and come back again soon for more. That all said, let's get back on track here. Why didn't the Empire return to occupy Lothal? And well, I think there's actually several reasons for this outlined in Star Wars Rebels Season 4. One, that the fact that the Jedi Temple on Lothal was destroyed. As far as the Emperor was concerned, this was probably one of the greatest treasures of Lothal and may have actually granted him access to the world between worlds. And the fact that it was absolutely destroyed meant that the Emperor wasn't as interested in Lothal. But of course, even before the Emperor discovered the Jedi Temple on Lothal, the Empire still occupied the planet, so why didn't then the Empire return to Lothal and continue to strip the resources from this planet? And well, as we see in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, I think this is answered pretty clearly, because it looked like Lothal had many of its resources already stripped by the Empire. So even if the Empire did return, there wasn't much more to extract from the planet. But that out of the way, the Empire did have a massive fuel depot on Lothal, which is certainly something that the Empire would have wanted to retake Lothal for, but unfortunately Governor Pryce absolutely obliterated that fuel depot when she killed Kanan Jarrus. So as you can see, the Emperor himself lost interest in Lothal when the Jedi Temple was destroyed. The Empire really didn't have a reason to return because of the lack of resources in the fuel depot on Lothal. That is, the Empire didn't have a reason to come back and occupy Lothal. That said, why didn't the Empire return to Lothal to get its revenge? Even if they would have just sent a single Star Destroyer, that probably would have been more than enough to absolutely flatten the capital city. But Dave Filoni actually went through great lengths to explain this in an interview, stating, "The difficult thing is there is so much story after the end of this part of the story. And I wanted people to understand once they overthrew the Empire, there were expectations of a large battle that never happened, because basically our story ends and then Scarif and the whole Luke Skywalker thing happens. When Luke happens, the Emperor's attention is completely refocused. His fear of Luke Skywalker drives his attention away from Lothal, so the people end up benefiting in the end. It was all a matter of timing, but I wanted to get to the part of the story that you understood the happy ending." And for me personally, this makes a lot of sense. There wasn't any real reason for the Empire to return and occupy Lothal. The resources were gone and the Jedi Temple had been destroyed. And as Dave Filoni mentioned in his interview, this was just one of a string of things that happened to the Empire. The Battle of Scarif, where Star Destroyers were destroyed and the Death Star plans were stolen, well, that in itself is a massive attack that overshadows what happened on Lothal. And then the fact that Luke Skywalker actually uses that information from the Battle of Scarif and is able to destroy the Death Star. Remember, when Luke Skywalker destroyed the Death Star, it killed over 1 million people from the Imperial Navy. So this no doubt forced the Empire and the Emperor to be on the defensive. I mean, just think of all the rebellious acts that were probably inspired by the destruction of the Death Star throughout the galaxy. There were no doubt riots in the streets of many different planets, attacking stormtroopers and other Imperial outposts. So sending even one Star Destroyer to Lothal didn't make a whole lot of sense when they were no doubt trying to send Star Destroyers to different planets to stop further acts of rebellion on those planets and to make sure that they continued to control those planets and the resources on them. And again, this is speculation, but I don't think it is very much of a stretch to think that there were many rebellions throughout the galaxy because of the destruction of the Death Star. Add to the speculation that there were no doubt many rebellions going on in many planets throughout the galaxy, that the Emperor and the Empire wanted to track down the Rebel Alliance and take out the revenge on them. So resources of the Imperial military were no doubt busy putting down rebellions as well as tracking down the Rebel Alliance. So yes, as Dave Filoni states, the destruction of the Death Star, the Battle of Scarif that led up to that, those are all things that stopped the Empire from returning to Lothal, but I think it's actually the aftermath of the destruction of the Death Star that actually saved Lothal. The Emperor and the Empire are looking for Luke Skywalker and the Rebel Alliance, and they have so many other rebellions to put down that Lothal is completely forgotten about. Well, that's my crazy speculation for today. Let me know in the comments below what you think. As always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force will be with you always.